Hey guys, welcome to your earthquake assignment for today. So today in class we went over the earthquake notes, and one of the parts we talked about with earthquakes is how waves are released, that there's different types of waves that are released, and these waves travel in different speeds. And what you're going to do in your activity today is look at how those different speeds allow us to locate an earthquake. And so we looked at this graph a little bit, looked at how P waves travel really fast, followed by S and L. And we're going to look at today in your activity these right here, which are the seismograph readings. So that's how we read earthquake waves. And then down here in your PowerPoint, we looked at how we locate earthquakes depending on how strong they are, where they're felt, can actually tell us where the epicenter was. So what I want to have you guys do is get onto Google. And on Google, you are going to type in a virtual earthquake. And when you type in virtual earthquake, the first link that will come up is this electronic desktop virtual earthquake. So it's a science courseware. You're going to click on that link. When you get there, it talks about being in geology labs. If you forget how to do this, you can pause the video and then go back. But you're going to look at some Richter scale and seismograph readings. So down at the bottom, it has a link that says execute virtual earthquake. You're going to create a virtual earthquake or a fake earthquake. So you're going to execute virtual earthquake. It talks a little bit about what we did today, what is an earthquake, what are seismic waves, how do they vary. So that's review. Down at the bottom, it actually gives you an example of a seismogram. I want you guys to pay attention to the amplitude and the P wave and the S wave. And so these right here, where they first arrive, the first spike, this is going to be your P wave. This right here, the second spike, is going to be your S wave. And if you notice, you can actually draw lines, and I'll have you guys do this, down to look at the time that it took them to show up. So the P wave looks like it arrived at 0. The S wave looks like it arrived at like 36. Make sure you pay attention to the difference between the two as well. You're going to actually look at these graphs. So at the bottom, right here, it'll say, sorry, let me erase that and escape out. So down at the bottom, it actually gives you an option to start an earthquake. So you can choose one of these 4 regions. You can go in San Francisco, Southern California, Japan, or Mexico. And depending on where you choose, will give you a different earthquake. So if I went Southern California and you press submit choice, it says determine the earthquake's epicenter. Here that gives you a map. And at the bottom, it shows you how you're going to view the SP intervals. So it gives you the map of where it occurred. It gives you this again on how to. You're going to view seismograms. And now it actually gives you something where you have to type it in. All right. Now remember, you have to find the difference between the two. Okay, so it says the interval. So I got one in Fresno. Again, you're going to look at where did my P wave arrive? All right, so my first P wave looks like it arrived at around 1. Right? And then my S wave, my secondary wave, looked like it arrived around 36. Now the interval is this one minus that one, right? So you're going to take the secondary wave and you're going to subtract the primary wave like that, and that is going to give you your interval. So if I said the secondary wave arrived at 36 and the primary wave arrived at 1, right? So my interval is then going to be, I'm going to put that there. My interval is then going to be 35, right? So you can actually type in 35 here. So you have to do some pretty simple math. You're going to go to the bottom and you're going to put all those intervals in, and then it's going to prompt you and give you more information. So the next one, this is a lot longer one, right? So that took like 62, so that took about 60 seconds to get there, right? So it took longer because it was farther away. When it converts your SP intervals, you're then going to have to go down and determine the distance from them. This one's a little bit difficult because the graphs are mixed up. So the SP interval is here, and you have to use this, right? So it's giving you the time, and then it's asking you for the distance. So if here's my time here that it gave me, right, and then here's my time here. Right, so those are the ones I looked at. And now it's asking me, so what's my distance? So the distance is down here, and you have to read the graph backwards. So if my time is 35 seconds, I'm going to go up here in intervals of 1. So my time is 35 seconds right here, and then I'm going to follow it down here to look at my distance. Okay, if this one's 40 seconds, then I'm going to go to 40 seconds on my graph right here, and then follow it down to find my distance there. And then my 60 seconds one, I'm going to go over at 60 right here, and then it's going to go down like that to find my distance. I'm then going to record these distances right here in my boxes right there. Okay, and so when I look at my distances, it looks like, so this is like 300 and, I'm going to actually type this in. So that's like 350, right? So I'm going to type that in there. Ooh, ooh. And then the next one is like 390. And then my last distance is, oh, about 580. All right, so it's not going to let me type in there. 580. Like that. Okay, so what you're going to do, so 350, 380, and 580. Well, so 350, 390, and we said, what, like 580? And now you're going to find the epicenter. Okay, so from this epicenter, it tells me, it gives you that triangulation that we talked about in our notes. So it says here's the where it all overlaps, and then it tells me how well did you do. I'm going to view my true epicenter. It will not let you go on if you don't record those correctly. So it gives you your true epicenter, and it tells you that it was actually 350, 384, 594. And then you're going to compute the magnitudes. Remember, we talked about magnitude is how big it is. So the magnitude explained goes down here, and now you're going to be measuring how tall it is for magnitude, not the distance between, but how tall. And so this part right here, it's going to its tallest amplitude. So at the bottom of the website, it'll say go to next page. You're going to do that, and go to next page. And now you're going to find the tallest amplitude, so tallest amplitude right here, and you're going to go all the way over here to record it. So that one looks like it's like 340, right? So it gives you an option to record 340. Erase. Down here, it'll say 340, right? So you're going to put those in. You're going to measure the highest amplitudes down here. That one's like 250. Yours are going to be different because you have different epicenters. And here my tallest one is really, really short. That's about 50. All right, and you're going to submit, and it's going to give you all three of these lines put together, and your job is to figure out where they intersect. So to figure out the actual magnitude, they draw all these lines, and then they look at the point where they intersect. So this one looks like it's going to be like a 6.7. So a 6.7 earthquake is going to be my magnitude. You actually put that in down here. So I'm going to say it's 6.7 where they all intersected. I confirm my magnitude. And it says, yay, you've done a great job. Now here's the best part. You don't have to turn anything in, but you have to email this to me. You have to email it to me to get credit. So down here, you're going to put in your name. Your institute is going to be Antelope High School. Your city and state, that's okay. But please make sure you email it to your instructor and yourself. So email it to both. Make sure you fill in both of these so that you get your certificate. If I don't get it and for some reason, but you get it, then you can forward it to me. So make sure at the end you put in both of these things, okay? And then you're going to press get your certificate, and your certificate will be emailed to you, but you can also see your name is on there, and you'll be done for the day, okay? If you have any questions, raise your hand and call me over.